so I'm going to apologize in advance for the wind. I didn't realize it was supposed to be windy today, and it's supposed to be getting worse, so I'm just going to film this now. To claim some stuff that happened in the last video, yes, I actually did end up running my accessories battery completely dead and caused the car to not be able to start, which is weird. Now, the problem is I didn't let this car warm up long enough because it's been sitting for like a week at that time, and I just basically moved it real fast and then took a video of it. I didn't let the battery come up and charge. And also we had that pretty bad cold snap where it got down to like 20 degrees within a few hours, so that probably took a toll on the battery because the accessories battery was dead within like 10-15 minutes, which is not normal for this vehicle. So anyways, the first thing on my list of things that I forgot to do and talk about is I have a list in my phone here that I made, if I pull it up real fast. Things to talk about. First thing on the list is remote start. The reason why I'm talking about the remote start is because it'll start the vehicle and let the engine warm up. And the battery come up as well. So yeah, so how you remote start this car is very easy. You basically just go up, hit the lock button a couple times. You hit the lock and then double click that and it'll start immediately. I'm gonna come to the front a little bit here so you can see the headlights do their thing. And also this gives time for the car's battery to come up. So let's do this. You hit the lock and then the button twice. You see, I was expecting that to take less time to start, but you saw it went an extra cycle before it fired off. This is why I'm letting the engine temp come up and the battery come up for this exact reason. Alright, let's get in and actually start the vehicle. When in the vehicle, when it's remote started, it doesn't actually run any of the accessories inside. It doesn't do that until you start the vehicle. Chiming at me not having my seatbelt on. Alright, but yeah, so that's basically the remote start functionality. I explained it a little bit, but I actually never did it in the last video, so that's why. Alright, moving on to the next thing on my list, which was cool lighting outside. The thing about this is it has very cool lights. I took a video of it at night of all the headlights doing their thing. I have a shot of it just standard, and then if you turn the signal on, the daytime running lights actually turn amber and flashing, which I think is really cool, and most modern vehicles do this now, which I think should be a must, because I think that's just a really cool feature and should just be a thing that most cars do because it saves on lighting. And also I noticed on some Jeep Compasses, their rear lights, and Jeep Cherokees, their rear lights actually do the same thing where they turn red, but when they're signaling, the brake lights turn amber flashing, which I think is very, very cool. Another thing on the list is the windows with fob. I'm going to actually move that down on the list because I want the car's temp to come up a little bit more so that I can have enough battery to show the windows doing their thing. And then actually driving it, and then also doing the 0 to 60 put in, which I'll just edit in. I know my list is super exciting, and a lot of things on this list, if the camera would focus on it, would be super nice. The camera will not focus on it. Come on. There you go. So yeah, basically that. Is there anything else in the car? Let me pause and think about this real quick. I'm just learning more and more things about this car. So, funny enough, when this car died, they lost some of its settings. So actually all of the climate control settings lost their programming. So it actually defaulted back to face only. Wow, that's really cold. It defaulted back to face only in 72 degrees and no air conditioning enabled, which I find very interesting. I actually want to go through and see if there's any other settings. We're learning stuff here. Any of the stuff in here seem to have changed. It looks like none of that has changed. Sound profiling, I don't know if any of this has changed. Doesn't seem to look like it's been changed. Yeah, that all stayed the same. I guess most of the stuff has stayed. Bluetooth settings, yeah, car phone's connected. I did see it connect when I started the car. Radio, nav, I don't care about that stuff. I don't use the nav anyway. I just make sure that the map preferences have stayed the same. Breadcrumbs, I've actually never read what the breadcrumbs. Enable just route tracking. Oh, okay. And then points of interest. Oh. Sure, we'll turn that on. And navigate freshens, I could care less about. General settings, I actually don't know if it changed any of this stuff. Nope, left everything the same. Okay, so basically it lost its climate settings, and in my instrument cluster it actually did change that screen back to its normal default, which I think, if I remember correctly, the default screen that it normally defaults to, I think, is this, but usually before it would default to this before. I usually leave it on the fuel economy page. But yeah, so Huh. Oh, car just idled down. That means it's getting up to temp. Means the heat should start coming out eventually. Anything else? Let me turn the temp back up. It's cold. I showed that. Yeah. So basically, I'll just show the lighting real fast. I don't know if you can see it. At nighttime might be a bit better, but you can see the lights flickering, which means they're on. So they're there. But if I go and enable the turn signal, it might be easier to see. There we go. That's a little bit better. So yeah, that's basically what the lights do. They turn yellow if they're just on, but then they start flashing if the hazard or turn signal is enabled. Also, you might notice, oh, just idle down some more. You might notice this mirrors have turn signals on them, which I didn't mention before. Alright, I think it's time to do the windows. Okay, now that the batteries come up in charge and the engine's warmed up a little bit, I'm going to show you the windows function. So, on my old video, way back on my very first video on this channel, I actually did a demonstration. It wasn't a very good demonstration, I didn't explain it very well. But what you can do on this car and most vehicles, if you read about it, you can actually open the windows with the fob. So I'm going to show you that if the camera will focus on the fob here. Let's see, if I face it towards the sun, might be better. There we go. So how it works is you basically click and hold the unlock button and it will roll down all of the windows, and you can do the same thing to roll up the windows, which is hit the lock and then hold it until it rolls up all the windows. So we'll demonstrate you open the windows. Now on most vehicles it'll just roll down the windows, but if you have a sunroof, it'll actually open the sunroof as well. So I'll hold the button, so I'll put it off to the side and click and hold. As you can see, the windows all rolled down, the sunroof cracked a little bit, and you can actually roll up the windows as well. And if you want, you can actually click it to stop the action here. So I'm going to click it and hold. It'll lock and beep, and it'll actually roll up the windows. Pretty sure if I can click it, I can make them all stop. Yep, perfect. So yeah, and then I can roll them down and I can stop them again. And if I click it, I think it'll stop. Yep. So yeah, that's basically how that works. It does it to all the windows. You can have it set to do it on either only lock or unlock, or you can have it set to both. But yeah, I think this is a really cool feature, and I think most people don't know about it. So let me roll the windows up and actually take it for a quick drive. Focus! If the audio sounds bad, I took the microphone off because the microphone stuck up too much and I needed to push it into the dash. Let's see if I can get it in a better spot where it won't slide as easily, and maybe you can even see my face. Well, you can just see a talking mouth, so I guess that's good, or at least on my screen you can see it. Alright, I am here. I'm in front of the wheel. It is a very nice sunny day. It is, car claims it's 56, it's actually 40, but or 48, I think, maybe even close to 50, so it's not that far off. But I've let the car sit, I've let the car warmed up, so we're going to take it for a little drive. I don't know where I'm going to take it. I have some roads that I can probably drive around for a bit to get some good footage, but yeah, so basically I'll just take it for a drive. I won't do any 0 to 60s. I've already pre-recorded a 0 to 60 that I'm going to put in the video that I took way back on my phone. With it on the premium fuel with little less than a quarter tank. So maybe like an eighth tank left in the tank, so it gets a proper fuels, proper go at it, and proper speeds. I haven't actually timed it, I just recorded it and then put it on my phone and kind of forgot about it. So let's take it for a drive. Before I drive it, there was one thing that I did forget to mention, and that is the special button that I call it. Since this is the Fusion Sport, this car has a sport function. That is what that button on there is for. It's a little button, you press it, and it activates sport mode. What it does is it basically changes the timing of the gearing and gives it a bit more fuel so it feels more alive. And trust me, when I say that this is a completely different car when you put it in sport mode, I mean it. This car acts so much differently, and it just feels like a completely different car when you put it in sport mode. It just sounds different. So I'm gonna start off by first fixing my hair and getting this hood down, and then also driving it. I also probably won't be able to put my face in the sun because my glass face in the face this way because there's this thing called the sun, and it's really bright. That's why I have my sunglasses on. Let me make sure everything is still set. Make sure my mirrors actually stayed, because when it lost power, my mirrors did a really funky thing. I meant to adjust these mirrors a long time ago, but I forgot. I also got to refix my seat, because my seat is not where it's really supposed to be. Ah, cool. That was the beeping confirmation that I said it correctly. Alright, let's drive this thing. Put it in drive here, and drive off. Cup holder view, let's go. Alright, driving the Ford. Every Ford turns vehicle known to man. It is a super fun vehicle to drive. It is one of my favorite vehicles of all time. And if you give it some gas, it's a very fun vehicle to drive. That engine, it's such a fun sound to listen to. Oh, there's an excavator over there, me getting distracted. But yeah, this car is super fun to drive. It is super comfortable, by the way. This is one of my favorite seats in this car, and I just love this car so much. It is by far my favorite vehicle that I've ever driven. It's my favorite vehicle that I've owned so far. And yeah, just putting your foot down and just listening to that engine roar. It just sounds so cool. It has such a cool sound. Oh, so fun. You are in the sun right now. I am so sorry. It is adjusting for the sun right now. I'm gonna turn here in a second so you guys can get out of the sun. Oh, it's 40, not 60, Jesus Christ. Did I say it's so much fun? I think I said it was so much fun enough times here, actually. Oh yeah, that wakes up real nice. I'm in sport mode now. When you're in sport mode, the steering changes a little bit, the braking changes a little bit, the gearing changes a little bit changes. But what doesn't change is the amount of fun this thing is. This thing is still fun. Oh, wow. This thing's so much fun. Oh my gosh, this thing's so much fun. Alright, I need to take it out of sport mode before I die. And then once you put it back in sport mode, it's just a nice luxury, well, I wouldn't say luxury, but a nice sporty vehicle. You can get on the gas a little bit. Just nicely get on the gas. Oh, there's a charger next to you. All-wheel drive, get down and go. Turning. I'm not even in sport mode and this thing still wants to go. That's how insane this car is. That 2.7 liter doesn't mess around, I swear. And it just sounds so sick. Oh man, okay, I need to put this car back before I have too much fun. I've wasted so much gas in sport mode.
Hello, Editor Me here. I think this is going to be the end of this video. Thank you much for watching. Like, subscribe, share this video with your friends and family, and until next time, peace. High five.